clarify that so that you could not mislead people because they might believe that you have said that. It is only now that you are disowning this statement. Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair. Yes, sir. To the Honorable Marcoleta, sir. Let's put it on record. I did not use the word traitor in describing your statement that the West Philippine Sea ay kathang-isip lamang po. Let me read my post on X. I stand by the statement of President Bongbong Marcos when he said ang West Philippine Sea ay hindi kathang-isip natin lamang. Ito ay atin, ito ay mananatiling atin hanggang nag-aalab ang diwa ng ating minamahal na bansang Pilipinas. Hearing someone claim that the West Philippine Sea is merely a fabrication of the Philippine government is a disservice and an embarrassment to their entire party, the organization he belonged to, and even their own family. How can the one face the younger generations today and tell them that our exclusive economic zone to the west of our archipelago is non-existent, effectively giving up the fight to assert their rights as Filipinos in the West Philippine Sea?
Mr. Chair, sinabi ko ba na katang-isip ang West Philippine Sea?
I cannot recall, Mr. Chair.
Hindi, kasi ang salita mo dyan, merong nagsabing katang-isip. Sinabi ko ba na katang-isip ang West Philippine Sea?
I said I stand by the statement of the President. I did not mention you said it, sir.
Meron kang katang-isip na sinabi dyan eh. To whom are you referring that?
No, sir. The kathang-isip phrase was the President's statement during his SONA. I just merely restated the statement of President Bongbong Marcos
Kaya nga,
when he
you are now,
delivered it to SONA.
kaya mo lang nilabas yan after I said that there is no such thing as West Philippine Sea. But that is in context of the fact that it is not yet registered in the International Hydrographic Organization. Alam mo, Commodore, ang procedure. Tama.
Mr. Chair,
No, you have to answer, Mr. Chair. Alam
Yes,
mo
sir.
yung procedure kung paano maitatala, kung paano natin papangalanan ang isang karagatan na tayo ang may-ari. You know the procedures, right?
with respect to the 19th Congress who passed
You
the
have
Republic
to
Act
answer my
12064,
question, Mr. Chair.
the Philippine Maritime Zones Act, sir, the West.
Kindly repeat your question.
You know, Commodore, the procedures on how we can register the name of a maritime area that we control or that we believe it is ours. You know the procedures on how
Yes,
to
sir.
register. Okay. So, ano na po ba, nakarehistro na po ba, nairehistro na po ba natin yung West Philippine Sea?
Sir, with regard to your question, there must be a legislation and then submit it to the international.
Oo nga, meron na po
Hydrographic
tayong
Organization.
legislation.
Yes,
As a
sir.
matter of fact, nagagawa na po yung Congress. Kailangan po talaga yon.
Yes, sir.
Nagpasimula tayo sa administrative order pero kulang yon. Kaya nga po ang Congress gumawa para tulungan po kayo. Okay, sa ngayon po, sa tagal na po ng proseso, yun po yung dapat ninyong palaging gagawin. Kailangan lahat ng lakas natin gamitin, maparehistro po natin. Pero ngayon, hindi pa nakarehistro. Tama po.
Again, sir, answer your question. It
Please.
steps by
Commodore,
step.
sandali.
Yes, sir.
Please answer the question
Yes, sir.
directly. The question calls for a yes or no.
No, sir. If it's in IHO, yes, through legislation.
Sinasabi ko yung IHO because this is the only world body that officially names a particular area of the sea. Kaya sa konteksto po ng pinag-uusapan natin, kaya ko lang nasabi, sapagkat hindi pa po nakatala, we need the international community to recognize a part of our own. Yun lang po ang punto doon, Mr. Commodore. So kung hindi pa po nakatala, tama po ako, hindi ba?
No, sir.
You are inconsistent.
No, sir. I did not say that you're correct. I will not agree that you are correct. West Philippine Sea is our exclusive economic zone.
Eh, Mr. Chair, wala tayong dispute dyan. Sinasabi ko na nga sa iyo, yung sinasabi nating West Philippine Sea is our own exclusive economic zone. This is ours. You and I should fight for it until the last drop of our blood. Ang sinasabi natin dito, kagaya ng nire-request ng CICC, let us educate our people sapagkat ang alam ng mga tao, lahat tayo, ang alam natin, nakarehistro na. Ang sinasabi ko, hindi pa po nakarehistro. Ikaw ba pwede kang mag-enroll sa isang eskwela nang hindi ka nag-register, nang hindi ka nag-enroll? You answer my question.
Of course, sir, there is a
Kaya nga eh.
legislation.
Kaya hindi pa nakarehistro, Mr. Chair. This is the only point. Let us not create a mountain out of molehill. Bigla mong sasabihin, in response to what I said, katang isip o bla 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 at lumabas sa traitor. Hindi ka man lang gumawa ng effort, for example, na I did not say that. Ngayon mo lang sinasabi. But you know, people are bashing me. I am pro-China. When is the last time or the first time that I am pro-China?
Again, Mr. Chair, I never said that you are a traitor. That is clearly posted on my Twitter
Pero
account.
hindi ka po nagbigay ng paliwanag na sinabi mo sana doon sa social media din. Bakit nyo ina-ascribe sa akin na sinabi ko na traitor si Kong Marcoleta? I did not say that. It is only now that you are explaining na wala kang sinabi. But kumalat na sa social media, kaya nga tayo nandito. These are the excesses and the abusiveness of social media, Mr. Chair. Nangyari na. Kahit na ilang libong mag-explain ka dito, yung tao narinig na nila na ikaw ang nagsabi. Because meron ka pang litrato dun eh.
Mr. Chair,
No.
nobody has ever asked me whether you are a traitor. This was only the first time that I was asked whether you are a traitor or not.
You are not even aware na sa social media sumabog yun. Nandun yung litrato mo and the claim that I am a traitor. Ngayon ka lang nagpapaliwanag na I am not a traitor. Pero nangyari na yon.
Mr. Chair, I don't think that I'm under in any obligation to respond to all those social media
Mr.
posts
Chair,
by bloggers,
now
social media influencers to tell them that
Mr.
they're
Chair,
wrong.
Siya muna.
sabi niya wala siyang obligation.
Finish your statement.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chair, Honorable Marcoleta, sir, I think I'm no under obligation to tell all the social media influencers, to bloggers, defend your name, tell them that you are not a traitor. Again, I did not mention that you are a traitor. Those words did not come from me. Why would I go to the extent of defending you and you are running for Senate? I might as well be interpreted as supporting somebody for public office.
Mr. Chair, clarifying something that is wrong is
Have
not
the floor,
political.
please.
Thank you, sir.
Commodore, tinatanong lang ni Honorable Marco Rex that merong lumabas kang statement. Siguro, binigyan ng interpretation ng ibang vloggers at nasabi na traitor si Honorable Marcoleta. Ang tinatanong niya is, unang-una, alam mo ba ito na gano'n na nangyari? Would you know?
No, sir, because when it became a social media popular post, I was not here in the country. I was actually in the official business outside.
So when did you come to know about this?
I only came to know about it when Congressman Marcoleta called me Gago and Mangmang in one of his interviews.
So when was that?
During his interview last February 10, huwag tayong magpagago at magpaka-ignorante katulad ng Commodore na yan.
So, at that point in time, ang tinatanong kanina ni Honorable Marcoleta na merong misinterpretation doon sa iyong statement sa social media.
Yes, sir.
And you did not bother na i-correct man lang yun. Yun ang dinadrive ni Honorable Marcoleta kanina pa.
Yes, sir.
So please answer that question. You did not do anything.
I did not do anything, sir.
Okay.
Why? Why did you not do anything?
It's because, sir, if I'm going to keep on defending to any, because one,
No.
Yeah.
You are not supposed
Yes.
to defend me.
Yes, sir. Because
If
as I
it is
said,
true, Mr. Chair, that he did not call me traitor, but it continues to be there and to be consumed by the public through the social media. I think it is his responsibility to deny it if it did not come from him. That is all I was asking. And I think this is not too big for him to do. Yun lamang eh.
Yeah. But he admitted that he did not do anything.
Yun na nga. That's why I'm asking why is it not important to you to correct something that did not originate from you?
it's because, Mr. Chair, the only time I learned about that was when I heard about your interview calling me Gago and Mangmang. Why would I even defend you if you're calling me Gago? As a commissioned officer of the Philippine Coast Guard, being a spokesperson, calling me Mangmang, not knowing what I'm saying.
But actually, if you will read that context,
How would I even
the
defend
act
you?
of doing it
Sandali,
is the
sandali.
one that is
Papatawagin mo
gago.
muna
Di ba? Yung ganon, not necessarily the person eh. Eh sabi ko nga sa'yo, kung kinorek mo man lamang yun, because it continue to be there in the social media, Mr. Chair, yun ang nakakasama sapagkat people, hindi ko naman sinabi talaga yun. Mamamatay siya because it came from you. Pero pag hindi mo sinabi at you continue to be silent, akala ng tao, sinabi mo. So that is the problem, Mr. Chair. And I think we are hearing this in order to correct the misconception and misinformation because it continues to spread. If you get the point, Commodore, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, again, sir, kung bakit ko po hindi binawi ay dahil nalaman ko lamang po itong balita na ito na nag-spread siya nung nagpa-interview po kayo na ginagago niyo po ako. As a human being, how would I defend somebody na ginagago po ako sa public interview?
Mr. Chair, kung titingnan mo yung konteksto ng pagkakasalitaan, hindi ikaw ang ginagago. Ikaw ang ginagago. Ang sinasabi ko rito, let us defend our own nang hindi tayo nagiging gago o kaya nagiging emotional. It's actually hindi sa tao eh. Kung hindi yung act na, halimbawa wala tayong ginawa o kaya sinabi natin. Kasi nagmumula ako, Mr. Chair, sa pagkakasabi na hindi man lang tiningnan mabuti saan ba nang galing itong narrative. Ngayon, i-explain ko nga sa iyo, Commodore, ito'y nangyari doon sa pinagsimulan na dapat nating i-educate ang ating mga kababayan. Yun ang pinagmulan nun. So it is not disservice. I do not deserve to be called a traitor just like that. Kasi ang gusto kong mangyari, lumitaw, ma-informahan natin ng tao na sa ngayon, hindi pa talaga naitatala officially yung West Philippine Sea para malaman ng tao. At yun ang kailangan natin gawin. Pagsikapan natin, pagsakitan natin, ipatala natin, Mr. Chair. Because pag napatala na natin yun at ginugel nila, talaga palang merong West Philippine Sea. Hindi lamang dahil sa nandun, gumawa na tayo ng batas. Because, Mr. Chair, that is preparatory para maipatala na nga natin eh. Kaya lang natatagalan talaga. Ganun siguro yung proseso. So yung pong mga ibang vloggers, Commodore, hindi nila ma-recognize. Kaya example ko kanina, ginugoogle, wine-waste ni Congressman Barbers, yung kalye na na gawa lang ni Congressman Paduano, hindi po niya makita. So nagkakaroon ng confusion. The tendency to be misinformed proceeds from the fact na hindi pa talaga na ipatala, sir. That's the only point. Mr. Chair, ngayon, kung babalik po sa Google, Mr. YouTube, ito kumakalat, lumalakad, but you're not doing anything to control this. So, ang daming, ngayon, nagbabas sila sa akin, si Marcoleta, pro-China. Ngayon, may lumitaw na naman through your platform. Lahat po ng senador na kagrupo ni ganito, lahat po sila ay pinopondohan po ng China. Nandito ngayon. I will show it to you before you leave, sir, na lumilitaw na naman dito. So kasama po ako doon sa grupo na yon na pinipinance ng China. Ganun po eh. So it becomes now an election misinformation that will impact on the credibility of the election. Maaaring mamislead po na naman ang mga tao. Yun po yung ating gustong ayusin, yung misconception and misinformation. Lumitaw lamang po kasi sa kawalan ng information na hindi pa po natin naipatala, Commodore. Hindi pa nakatala talaga officially. Tayo-tayo po, walang problema eh. Kung tayo-tayo lang. Sapagkat yung bahagi na yun ng ating karagatan, may pangalan man yan o wala. Sabi ko nga sa iyo kanina, tayong dalawa ilaban natin yun hanggang sa huling patak ng ating dugo. Atin yun at walang makakapagpabago doon. Ang problema, nagkakagulo tayo because of that misconception. Walang masamang tinapay doon, Mr. Chair. I want to explain that. Ngayon, ako nagpapasalamat ako sa iyo at sinabi mo ngayon at naliwanagan na hindi mo pala sinabi yung I am a traitor. So salamat kahit nahuli. Sabi nga natin, Mr. Chair, huli man daw at magaling, nayahabol din. Kaya lang ang problema ko ngayon, Mr. Chair, yun pong kumakalat na akala nila sinabi mo. At lumaki nga, sapagkat siguro, dahil medyo nasaktan naman ako, nakapagsalita ako ng wag nating depensa ng sariling atin na magiging emotional tayo o kaya nagpapakagago tayo. So, kaya lumaki ng lumaki dahil lamang doon. But the context, Mr. Chair, the context is gusto nating huwag gamitin ang misconception or misinformation, lalo na ng mga vloggers, sa lahat po ng bahagi o aspeto ng ating buhay. Ang West Philippine Sea ay atin, Commodore.
Yes.
Because this is the exclusive economic zone of the country. And there is no changing that fact. Kahit anong magbali-baligtarin natin ang mundo natin, atin ito. Kaya lang ipatala po natin yung pangalan para po hindi gamitin sa misinformation. Mr. Chair, thank you very much.
Well, I think we have seen one of the ill effects of misinformation. I think everybody will agree to that. That is one of the ill effects of fake news or misinformation. Would you agree? Yes. So next time, kasi hindi ako nagbabasa kasi sila mga ganyan eh. Para hindi ako apektado. Yan ang ko. Yes, Madam Tikia.
Mr. Chairman, I would just like to, with the indulgence of the chair and the members, I also take exception to what the Commodore has labeled me as being makapili. In my testimony the first time, I said I am not pro-China, I am pro-Philippines, but I'm not makapili. He labeled several people as being makapili, and ako po'y apo ng isang guerrilla. So I took offense on that and I stopped following him. Ang nangyayari ho kasi reverse ngayon eh. Pag ang tao nasa gobyerno, nililabel ka as being makapili, just like that. And you know the reason, Mr. Chairman, why he called me makapili? I had an interview with a Chinese journalist. That doesn't make me makapili. That doesn't make anyone makapili. So, wag sana po natin dadalhin yung usapan sa kine-question yung katauhan ng tao. That's why I never followed him. I used to follow him. I used to question him. But after labeling me as makapili, na hindi po, alam ng karamihan ng kaibigan ko, nag-decide na sana ako sa ibang bansa, pero umuwi ako. Pero for man in uniform to call me makapili, that's insulting. Yun lang, sir.
Any statement, Commodore?
Yes, sir. The Global Times is the known propagandist of the Chinese government. If you're going to look at those personalities na in-interview ng Global Times, you're going to doubt what is the objective why such personalities are being interviewed. If you're going to look at the posts of those people who were interviewed and who gave comments about our fight in the West Philippine Sea, I think that's where I'm getting that kind of assertion. Again, this is just an opinion, but those opinion is guarded on what I have seen so far in their social media posting about how they reacted on our responses in the West Philippine Sea, about how they downplayed the level of aggression that the armed forces of the Philippines and the Philippine Coast Guard is experiencing in the West Philippine Sea, not to mention the abuses of the Chinese Coast Guard against the Filipino fishermen in Bajo de Masinloc. I am not labeling anybody as makapili unless you're going to support and toe the line for our fight in the West Philippine Sea. Ang laban po natin sa West Philippine Sea requires amplification of truth and factual narrative. Let us not distort the messaging of the Philippine government. Ang laban po ng West Philippine Sea, hindi lamang po ito laban ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos. Laban po nating lahat ito bilang Pilipino.
I agree with you, but that doesn't give you the right to label people unless you have concrete pieces of evidence. When you label people wrongly, they are committing a crime. Would you agree with that, Commodore?
Yes, sir. I definitely agree. And that's why I'm looking into my social media whether I clearly identified Miss Maluti Kia as a makipili.
Sir, you tagged me. That's why I stopped following you. And that was, sir, Mr. Chairman, that is one interview. I received invites for interviews, whether political, whether campaigns, and that is one. How can you label me without knowing me first? That's my point. Being makapili in your time and the time, it's something that we hold dear. We do not want to be labeled makapili. But he readily labeled me with one interview. That doesn't define me. That doesn't define my belief in the Philippines and on South China Sea. At Commodore, ang laban ho sa South China Sea, nagsimula pa yan nung unang-una pa.
Mr. Chairman,
hindi lang
point of
ngayon.
order, Mr. Chairman.
Sandali.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes. Kaya nga po, nagkakaroon ng hearing na ganito dahil nagiging problema na natin yung fake news Otherwise, this issue would not reach Congress. Ako nga, to tell you frankly, yung mga anak ko ang nagsabi sa akin, smile at nakipagkamayan lang ako kay Honorable Franz Castro. Nililabel na ako na friendly with the left. O nag-I5. Anak ko ang nagsabi, no? Dahil hindi ako nagbabasa ng ganyan Sayang lang yung oras. Kasi I need to discern whether the news presented there are true or not. And that would need time for me to discern or to find out, to validate whether it's true or not. So, never mind. It's just a waste of time. Yun ang aking paningin dyan. That's why I'm not affected kung ano man ang sinasabi. Nangingiti na lang ako pag naiinis si Honorable Marcoleta pag sinasabi na traitor siya. Anyway, Honorable...
Chairman, just, I will not anymore raise a point of order, but this is just a reminder to all the members, to all the resource persons. In the hearing, any hearing, we do not allow that exchanges of, Mr. Chairman, exchanges of accusation against, from one resource person to another. We have a different venue for that. And with due respect to Ma'am Malu, Ma'am, sorry po, kasi ganito yung rules natin, no? It's between the good Commodore and of course the issue raised by Congressman Marcoleta. Now, we should not attack resource person to that question and attack statements coming from the resource person mismo. Thank you po, Mr. Chairman. Thank you po.
Thank you. Before I give the floor back to the Honorable Marcoleta, let me recognize the presence online of the Honorable Maria Rachel J. Arenas. Magandang hapon po. Yes, Honorable Marcoleta, please proceed.
Colonel, did
Commodore.
you... Ay, okay. Commodore, You graduated from the Philippine Military Academy?
I'm
But-
3 weeks short of my graduation.
Would you like to say, or you would like to explain why you did not succeed in graduating from that great military academy?
Yes, Mr. Chair. As what the chairman, General Acob, knows, we have the honor code among the Cadet Corps Armed Forces of the Philippines. I was charged of cheating with other 7 of my classmates, and it was a gentleman's agreement. If you violate the honor code, you formally file your resignation, and then you just leave, sign the clearance, and get out of the Philippine Military Academy. And that's 3 weeks before my graduation, sir. I never insisted because I respect the honor code.
But did you violate the honor code?
Yes, sir, we did. That's why I resigned for the good of the service.
Okay, but that's not my question. We need to defend our exclusive economic zone with all our might and with all our life, because it is ours. Hindi lamang yung EEZ, merong continental shelf, territorial sea and all this. These are maritime rights, which even the UN Convention of the Law recognizes. We had an award, yung arbitral award between the Philippines and China, and the subject matter is the South China Sea. You know that, I'm
Yes, sir.
sure. In that particular award, the tribunal ruled that the Scarborough Shoal is a traditional fishing ground.
Yes, sir.
I'm sure you studied that. Traditional fishing ground proceeds from the traditional fishing rights, or TFR, which is a private right fully recognized under public international law.
Yes, sir.
You agree?
Traditional fishing ground.
And in that award, the tribunal said, well, the Vietnamese, the Chinese, and the Filipinos can freely fish in that area because it is a traditional fishing ground. Mr. Chair, I think the good Commodore and the rest of the agency that is bound to protect our fishermen could have started along that line. Because a traditional fishing right is a private vested right. It does not concern territory. Sa aking palagay, Mr. Chair, mas maging magandang simula yun. Let's talk to China. And I believe China will recognize the traditional fishing right. Because in the year 2000, I will remember that they had an agreement with Vietnam in the Gulf of Tonkin. If you will study that. Nagkaroon sila ng agreement, and they divided that fishing ground among themselves. Something that we can also do para hindi tayo nagkakaroon ng girian. Pinag-uusapan lang naman dyan are the living resources in this particular area. Bakit hindi po natin binibigyan ng emphasis? Why don't we initiate something positive along that line? We had the tribunal ruling. Sabi niya, it is a traditional fishing ground. Bakit hindi natin sila kausapin on that basis? Marami tayong jurisprudence, international jurisprudence. In 1974, pag-aralan po ninyo, Mr. Chair, yung mga maritime cases that was ruled by the tribunal. Yung case ng Federal Republic of Germany against parang Holland, and also Great Britain against Holland. Yung alam po ninyo, yung ruling is the same. Kahit siya yung merong reference do sa sea na yon, it cannot exclude the rights of the other coastal areas to fish sapagkat they invoke the traditional fishing right. I am asking, Mr. Chair, why no initiative has been taken along that line?
Mr. Chair. Yes, sir. To Honorable Marcoleta, it's beyond my pay grade to explain why our strategy is not in alignment with that fishery agreement in Bajo de Masinloc. And it's also worth mentioning that the Philippine Maritime Zones Act highlighted that Bajo de Masinloc and its territorial seas, we have sovereignty and sovereign rights over these waters. So on our level, in the Philippine Coast Guard, we cannot go against to the enacted law of the Congress, much more to the national security and foreign policy direction of the President.
I am not saying that it is within your pay grade to discuss it with Republic of China. What I'm saying is maybe because you are a member of the Philippine Coast Guard, you could have talked to the other agencies of government higher than you that we could be initiating this along this line. Because we can take advantage of that particular tribunal's decision. Hindi ba? Pwede naman natin gamitin yun eh. Sabi ko nga sa'yo, ang daming cases, maritime cases, disputes ruled by the same tribunal. Oh, ito. Gamitin natin because they are all involved traditional fishing rights. Eh, yung arbitral award natin, eh, sinabi nga that the Scarborough Shoal is a traditional fishing ground. So, sinasabi ko lang, pwede tayong mag-initiate along this line because we are backed up by the award. And another, Mr. Chair, have you read the entirety of the UNCLOS?
Not the entirety, sir. I won't pretend that I have. Even if I read, I'm not a lawyer. I have a PhD in international relations, but I'm not a legal person. So I won't claim that I fully comprehended the contents of the entire UNCLOS.
Understood. Okay, so what about the aspect of that particular UNCLOS document that relates to the particular maritime area that is now called South China Sea? The South China Sea is a semi-enclosed sea. Did you find in the UNCLOS the significance of a semi-enclosed sea? I think it is under Article 123 of the UNCLOS. Kung tinatanong ko lang, sir, kung nabasa mo lang.
Mr. Chair, I'm not the proper resource person to respond to this kind of question, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, because I am raising that particular issue because if the most responsible agency will look at it, there is a connection on how we should approach the entire problem because the entire South China Sea is a troubled sea. Kaya dapat inaaral natin, saan kaya tayo magsisimula? Ano kaya ang magiging basihan sana natin to approach this issue? Because if you will look into the definition of a semi-enclosed sea, which is under Article 123, makikita natin doon, Mr. Chair, na yung palang mga coastal states. Kasi tingnan po ninyo, imagine it, on the north, nandun po yung China, on the east, nandyan ang Philippines, on the west, nandyan ang Vietnam, southern part, nandyan ang Malaysia. Kaya, at meron din Taiwan on the north. Kaya tinawag po siya sa UNCLOS, Mr. Chair, na semi-enclosed sea. What is the significance of the semi-enclosed sea? Sinasabi po ron, pagka po yung body of water is a semi-enclosed sea, lahat po ng coastal states has the responsibility to coordinate, to cooperate in the exploration, the research, development of that area. We can utilize that as the cornerstone of our defense na. Oh, sinasabi pala rito dapat cooperative ang approach. Hindi sa'yo yan. Kasi even in the description of the sea, tayo dapat nagko-cooperate. So sinasabi ko lang ito, Mr. Chair, because of the complications and the complexities of the South China Sea. Kaya po, kahit na konti lang ang panahon, gusto kong makakontribute na ito po ang dapat nating pagsikapang aralin. So maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair, sa inyong pasensya sa akin na medyo nagtagal para ipaliwanag lang ng konti, alang-alang po sa pagkaunawa nating lahat. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. The next to interpolate is the Honorable Raul Manuel.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In relation lang dun sa nasimulang topic, Mr. Chair, this is more of my...
With your indulgence, Your Honor. There's a request of one of our resource persons, Attorney Yves Gonzalez of Google Philippines. Are there any members of this committee who would ask questions from him? Meron? Okay. So, pasensya na ito. Thank you. Please proceed, Honorable, Attorney, Honorable Franz, can you ask your question from Juan? He has another meeting to attend.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, hindi ko inabot kasi kanina yung parang pinag-uusapan yung violations doon sa, kumbaga yung inyong standard na doon sa platform. Ano-ano nga po ba yung mga violations doon sa platform kung bakit tinitake down ninyo or upon reporting, tinatanggal ninyo yung post?
Mr. Chair, opo, meron po tayong, yung pinaka first level po, meron po tayong community guidelines.
Community guidelines.
So sa community guidelines po, andyan po yung mga pinagbabawal po natin yung hate speech, election
Okay.
misinformation, medical misinformation, or child abuse materials. So yun po yung mga example lang po. Sa community guidelines po yun. Meron din po tayong mas stricto, meron po tayong advertiser-friendly guidelines. Ito po yung mga additional po na guidelines para po sa mga nagmo-monetize po ng channel nila. Kasi po, ito po yung kumbaga additional rules pa po ito. Para po yung mga nagmo-monetize ng channel nila, meron pong additional responsibilities po na naka-impose po sa kanila.
Okay. So you have the community guidelines at saka yung advertiser guidelines po. So
Advertiser-friendly
ito naman,
guidelines.
advertiser at the same time yung mga content creator.
Opo.
So they have to follow po yung parang, syempre kailangan din nila yung, first of all, merong dapat they follow also yung community guidelines. Di ba? So before, or sabay naman yung ina-apply ninyo. Okay? So yung mga hate speech, yung mga sinasabi ninyo against doon sa, hindi, sinabi na kanina to ni Congressman Barbers, yung tungkol sa mga pagmumura. Di ba? Yung pagsasabi ng threat. Meron ding threat na ganun eh. Well, I siguro hindi sa inyo, hindi sa Google, Mr. Chair, yung nagpapakita ng video, Mr. Chair, na parang na-assume na mamamatay ka na. No, so meron akong ganong pero mukhang hindi naman sa kanila. So, how do you consider that? For example, sa inyo yan, how do you consider that po? Kasi hindi sa inyo yan, sa ibang So, would you consider that as as violation from your community guidelines? Yung pinipretend na patay ka na?
So kung sa YouTube po, for example po, may nagsabi po na content creator na patay ka na po. So yun po ay isang example po ng election misinformation kasi po it goes to the qualification and status of the candidate kung kandidato po kayo, 'di ba? So yun po madali po yun i-check. Tapos
Okay.
kung confirm po na buhay naman po yung sinasabing patay na kandidato at yung content po na yun would be violative of the election misinformation policy at tatanggalin po yun sa platform.
So, even if walang nagre-report, halimbawa may ganong content, even if walang nagre-report, you are checking the content. I know, thousands yan every day. So, meron bang ganong initiative ang Google Philippines?
Opo. So, sa present ko po, Mr. Chair, 97% po ng natatanggal ni Google, ni YouTube, ay automatic na po siya na nade-detect. Meron po tayong 2% na galing po sa mga nagre-report. So, kung makikita nyo po, karamihan po, over yung malaking numero po, ay automatic na pong nade-detect. Pero, may mga kinds of violations po na yun po yung talagang kailangan may nagre-report po na user. So yun sa numero po ni Google, 2% po yung user reported.
Okay. So, So meron kayong mismong mechanisms on your platform to detect or to determine that. Meron kayong mechanisms or you are sabi nyo kanina no 90% you are monitoring. Tama ba 'yon?
Sa
Kasi
huling
2% lang yung parang nire-report eh. So ibig sabihin you have these mechanisms talaga to check yung mga disinformation or misinformation. O disinformation kasi ano to eh pag disinformation kasi 'di ba parang deliberately no na nagpapakalat ng mga maling information.
Opo. So sa huling transparency report po ni YouTube, so 97% po ay na-detect ng AI or machine learning technology po. So 97% po. 2% po yung user reported. So meron pong mga sistema upang ma-detect yung 97% na violation po ng community guidelines ni YouTube.
So aside from AI, so how many percent is human intervention here? Sabi niyo may AI. So ilang porsyento rito yung human intervention?
So sa huling transparency report po, sa lahat po ng tinanggal, 97% ay machine learning / AI detected. 2% po user reports.
Vaccination.
Meron po.
How would you define that in your platform po?
Mr.
As
Chair,
a violation.
hanapin ko lang po yung community guidelines on. So,
So sa definition, Mr. Chair, dun sa Google, no, it is an act attempting to deceive someone by pretending that you are not or that you are another person or false representation by one person that he is another or occupies another position. So ganun po yung definition ninyo no sa Google na impersonation.
So, Mr. Chair, sa aming pong spam and deceptive practices, nakalista po dito spam, deceptive practices, and scams policies. Number 2, impersonation policy. So, meron po kaming explicit na polisiya po against impersonation.
Okay. Paano nyo po nadidetermine na merong violation on impersonation? So, ito ba, using lang yung mga trolls na nagre-report ng sabay-sabay o nag-i-inform sa inyo na sabay-sabay? Kasi ganyan po yung experience na, hindi naman kayo, no? Kaya, Mr. Chair, sa Facebook kasi ito eh, tsaka sa Meta. Kaya gusto kong nandito sana yung Facebook and Meta. Kasi, Mr. Chair, 180 days suspended yung aking Facebook account ng Meta dahil sa impersonation. So kaya gusto kong malaman din sa Google kung ano yung ibig sabihin nun. So ayun po Mr. Chair. Ano ba yung definition ninyo yan? Kasi yung kung ganun din ba sa definition ninyo doon sa Meta? Kasi wala namang misrepresentation. I think doon sa aking account. No, kaya Mr. Chair, imbitahin natin talaga dito yung Meta at saka yung Facebook. So, Attorney Gonzales, so ano po yung sabi niyo po, sinasabi ko kanina, no, yung impersonation on your platform, how would you define that po?
Mr. Chair, ito po, basahin ko po yung impersonation policy, Mr. Chair. Content intended to impersonate a person or channel is not allowed on YouTube. YouTube also enforces trademark holder rights. When a channel or content in the channel causes confusion about the source of goods and services advertised, it may not be allowed. So, meron pong mga example po.
Okay, can you give us some?
Don't post content on YouTube if it fits any of the descriptions noted below. Channel impersonation. A channel that copies another channel's profile, background, or overall look and feel in such a way that it makes it look like someone else's channel. The channel does not have to be 100% identical as long as the intent is clear to copy the other channel. Another example po, Mr. Chair, personal impersonation. Content intended to look like someone else is posting it.
Okay. So, ako kasi tingin ko wala akong binabiolate doon sa ganyang definition nyo at kahit na definition in general. So, dahil sinasabi niya, Mr. Chair, na dinidetermine ito ng AI, yung impersonation, di ba kasama yan doon? So, kapag merong nag-mass report niyan, o mga troll farms na nag-mass report yan, automatic ba tinatanggal niyo yung channel? Or do you still have to investigate?
Opo, Mr. Chair, so klaruhin ko lang po, sa YouTube po, hindi po factor yung dami po ng nagre-report. Kahit isang tao lang po mag-report, mare-review po yung content. And then to your question po, kung automatic po bang tinatanggal, for certain types of content, kunyari po, child sexual abuse content, automatic na po tatanggalin yun. Hindi na po kailangan na may mag-usap-usapan pa po doon. Pero meron po tayo,
Doon na lang tayo sa
meron
impersonation.
po sa mga ganyan pong impersonation, dahil napaka-importante po dyan yung konteksto. Napaka-importante po dyan yung history.
Yeah,
Napaka-importante po dyan yung is it satire? Is it yung mga ganun po. So in higher likelihood po yan po yung merong human intervention na kailangan pong reviewin at pag-usapan dahil nga po pagdating sa impersonation, meron
You
po
have to
clear cut,
prove.
meron pong may kailangan ng konteksto po.
Okay. So that's the thing na naintindihan ko na yung sa YouTube. So, yun lang po, Mr. Chair, kay Mr. Gonzales. Niraise ko lang ito, Mr. Chair, dahil meron talaga ako tanong dahil sa Facebook. Biro niyo po, Mr. Chair, yung aking channel. Ay, no, not channel. Yung aking Facebook account o yung Meta account ay sinuspend ako ng 180 days dahil dito sa rason na to, impersonation. So wala naman akong inaano doon, ni-impersonate or I am pretending na ibang tao kasi everyday experience ko na yun nandoon. So yun na po, inquiry lang, Mr. Chair, kung ano na po ba yung status nung invitation natin sa Facebook or sa Meta? Kasi sinasabi rito, ang imbitahin natin ay yung Meta Platforms Incorporated, One Meta Way, Menlo Park, dito sa may California. So ano po bang ibig sabihin nun? So, hindi ba sila pwedeng magpaliwanag dito? At least man lang itong nagbigay sa atin ng sulat na ito. Dahil alam ko po pag merong nagrereklamo sa kanila na ganito at ako magrereklamo ko doon sa ginawa nilang pag-suspend ng aking account na 180 days. So biro yun, kalahating taon, suspended ako dahil sa impersonation. So gusto ko silang magpaliwanag kasi wala namang due process eh. Hindi nila ako binigyan ng rason bakit nila sinuspend yung aking account, Mr. Chair. So ano po ba yung status ng invitation natin sa kanila?
Well, the two mentioned social media platforms send their excuse. Yun po yung we will tackle that during the time that we will shall we say tackle administrative proceedings in so far. That's why the reason why we're doing that is that we still do not have a quorum, Your Honor. So we can take that matter later when the committee secretary will inform the chair kung meron na po tayong quorum. Thank you.
Sige.
Do you have any other question to Attorney Gonzales?
So wala na po. Okay na.
Any other member of this committee? Or the three committees who would have questions to Attorney Gonzales? Attorney, you're excused for the day. You can attend your next meeting. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. I think the next interpolator is the Honorable Raul Manuel. You have the floor, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Before I proceed sa isa kong point, address sana sa mga inimbitahan nating social media personalities. In relation lang dun sa West Philippine Sea, Mr. Chair, kasi ngayon nga, dahil umiinit ang issue na yan, meron talagang labanan ng iba't ibang mga naratibo coming from various sides. Meron din, Mr. Chair, sa bahagi naman ng mga ang gusto kong tahakin na ay yung primary way para ma-resolve yung issue ay along the lines of provoking war in the area. In fact, Mr. Chair, sa Facebook, meron ding mga kumakalat na pag-shape ng opinion ng mga tao gamit ang AI-generated content. Merong isang Facebook page, Mr. Chair, ang pangalan ay Key to Good Luck, na nagpo-post ng mga AI-generated na mga picture na merong mga sea-based war ships and iba't ibang mga kagamitang pandigma na nakalagay ay mga flag ng Pilipinas tsaka ng US na bagamat distorted pero para sa mga ordinaryo nating kababayan na pwedeng maabot ng mga ganito, pwedeng yun yung ma-hype up sa kanila na sentimento na kara-karaka ay makipagdigma na tayo para sa West Philippine Sea. Ito, Mr. Chair, yung ilan sa mga examples, ayan, pwede kong isend sa ating secretariat for reference, pero halimbawa yung isang AI-generated photo, Mr. Chair, merong 27,000 reactions, may likes, hearts, meron ding haha-react, pero then pwedeng kasama na rin dito yung mga fake accounts or posibleng mga bots para lang tumaas, kunwari, yung statistics ng ganitong mga post. Meron din, Mr. Chair, ay nasa 900 reactions. Ito naman, 4.4 thousand reactions. Parang distorted na flags pero ang gustong i-portray flags ng US tsaka ng Pilipinas. So, ganun kadelikado, Mr. Chair, kapag yan, left unchecked na yung ganitong mga pag-abuso ng artificial intelligence, lalo na sa ganitong issue na dapat mas lumalim ang kaalaman ng ating mga kababayan. So, on another topic, Mr. Chair, gusto ko po sanang matanong kung present po sina Trixie Cruz Angeles tsaka Ahmed Paglinawan. Are they present sa ating panel ng mga resource persons?
Comsec, kindly answer the query of the Honorable Manuel.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Ahmed Paglinawan and Attorney Trixie Angeles Cruz are not present today, sir.
Okay, Mr. Chair, kaya ko po sila gusto sanang matanong dahil meron din pong Facebook page. Ang tawag naman ay Luminous by Trixie Cruz Angeles and Ahmed Paglinawan. Kaya I would assume na sila ang nagpapagana at nagpo-produce ng content sa Facebook page na ito. At kaya ko pa na-raise, Mr. Chair, dahil meron po silang iba't ibang mga post, pero kung meron ilan dyan na loaded na talaga ng disinformation at meron pa ngang red tagging din, Mr. Chair, meron po silang public post noong February 5 na ang nakalagay po, I'd like to quote some of the parts, sabi dito, Mr. Chair, Doc Lorraine's account has been taken down. This was her last post. Tapos merong ilang mga parts doon, Mr. Chair, gusto kong i-quote din. We are now a communist state. The Philippines, our beloved country, is now being run by the CPP, NPA, NDF, who work in the shadows and who thrive when weak and corrupt leaders hold the reins of political power. At yung gas-gas din na narrative, Mr. Chair, na tayong mga kinatawan ng Makabayan Coalition ay bahagi daw ng mga ganong grupo. And nandito rin, Mr. Chair, and I quote, had the 38 bloggers gone to Congress yesterday, we would now be in jail. We were told this was the plan. A plan no doubt hatched by the Central Committee of the CPP, NPA, NDF and handed down to their slaves in Congress, Franz Castro, Arlene Brosas, Raul Manuel, who then nudged their weak and greedy colleagues towards that direction. Tas mas mahaba pa, Mr. Chair. Why am I raising this? Kasi, Mr. Chair, I also feel that these people, inimbitahan sila dito para magpaliwanag, matanong din natin, makuha yung kanilang mga sentimento, pero hindi sila dumalo. Tapos, Mr. Chair, even recently ay nandyan pa rin ang kanilang pagpapakalat ng ganitong mga remarks na ang nilalaman ay red tagging na actually ay nakabatay din no, sa mga hindi naman talaga mapapatunayang mga punto. In fact, Mr. Chair, by saying this, na ang gobyerno daw natin ay pinapatakbo na ng CPP, NPA, NDF, that actually raises the question, so hindi ba naging effective ang National Task Force LCAC? Kasi ang sabi ng National Task Force LCAC, mawa-wipe out na ang CPP, tsaka yung NPA. Tapos, actually, Mr. Chair, by also claiming na ganun yung gobyerno natin ngayon, nire-retag din yung ating mga institusyon, yung Kongreso at yung iba't ibang branches ng government. So, ibig sabihin, para lang siyang nakakatawa, pero sa totoo lang, kung hayaan natin yung mga ganito, pwedeng umugat din ang ganitong mga kaisipan sa mga kababayan natin. Kaya, I would expect na humarap ang ganitong mga tao, sina Trixie Cruz Angeles, Ahmed Paglinawan, tsaka yung kinvote din po nila sa post na ito, na edi kung ganon, the quoted post of Lorraine Badoy Partosa, it means they echo the sentiments of that person. So lahat po sila ay dapat humarap dito. And since yun, as of now, wala po, then I would end for now, Mr. Chair, and ask these same questions pag sumipot po sila. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Manuel. Is that all? Okay na. Next is the Honorable Franz Castro. Tapos ka na. Okay. Next is the Honorable Ace Barbers.
Mr. Chair, can we, this is just a proposal, can we allow the vloggers that we invited to, maybe if you have statements that you wish to make, siguro this is the best time, no? Maybe we can listen to them. Para alam nyo na hindi ito suppression ng malayang pagpapahayag. That's why we want to hear from you. You know very well that the objective of this committee hearing is for this Congress to perhaps craft a remedial legislation in order to maybe come up with a code of ethics or code of conduct among the social media practitioners or actors. Kasi bago po ito, wala po tayong code of ethics and code of conduct sa social media, kagaya po ng meron sa KBP, yung mga broadcasters. Meron din po tayong regulatory body doon sa mga broadcasters naman din from TV and radio, no? So siguro we'd like to hear from them, Mr. Chair. Maybe if they want to say something.
Mr. Chair, with the indulgence of Chairman, before we
Yes,
we recognize our bloggers here, may I just say a few words, Mr. Chair, because I guess all of us are victims of misinformation. Lahat po tayo nagiging topic ng mga vlogs eh.
Pati kapwa vloggers.
Yes,
biktima
pati
rin.
kapwa vloggers. I'd just like to direct my question perhaps to, and maybe to, Commodore Tariela, if I may, Mr. Chair. I was listening to your exchanges to the question of Congressman Marcoleta, and I agree with you. You have no legal obligation to defend anybody among members of this committee to say your piece, no, in defense of anybody of us. In fact, Mr. Chair, I would say on record na maraming salamat sa lahat po ng serbisyo niyo binibigay sa ating bansa. I think yung threat, no, yung everyday challenges that you face in protecting our national sovereignty and territory, I think all of us should at least, no, at the very least, compliment you with the service that you have provided, sacrificing your own life, taking away the time from your family in order that all of us would be safe here in this country. So marami pong salamat. I was listening to the exchanges and I also somehow na nararamdaman ko po where Congressman Marcoleta is coming from kasi lahat po kami doon na experience yung ganong mga misinformation and disinformation. This is not a question, that's just a manifestation I'd like to to share to you. Kasi the last committee hearing, I was also asking Ma'am Malu Tikia. Oo. And there were clips of those interpellation that I had, and I'm gonna ask questions to Miss Tikia na it was uploaded on YouTube by some vloggers. And what they somehow, the message that they somehow to convey to the public is that wala akong kaalam-alam. Na Congressman Zia, walang alam, nilekturan ni Miss Malu Tikia. So, if I would also premise that from the way Congressman Marcoleta was telling Commodore Tariela na to rectify that kind of perception or fake news na ako, I would say that Ms. Malu has no legal obligation to come to my defense. 'Di ba? So ganun lang po yung aking gustong ipaliwanag dito, na yung maganda po yung exchanges namin ni Ma'am Malu. In fact, the reason why I was asking, all of us are asking questions, because when it comes to this new kind of platform technology, etc., itong digital information sharing platforms, talagang this is a new frontier that all of us are ignorant of. I'm sorry to say, no, this is just, kung meron po tayong knowledge dito at kaalaman, talagang kukulang. That's why we are also asking these questions, because this is a new frontier that we need to explore more on how we can respond to challenges brought about by this new form of communication. So, ang lang po yung manifestation ko, I guess, no, Mr. Chair, na sometimes tayo po na nandito sa committee ay talagang titirahin talaga nila, pero wala pong obligasyon. Tulad po sa amin ni Ma'am Malu, Ms. Tikia, wala po siyang obligasyon na sabihin doon sa channel niya na hindi naman sa walang alam si Congressman Zia, tinatalong na lang ako kasi ganun talaga ang trabaho nila at ganun din yung purpose ng pagpunta ko doon, para mag-supply ng inputs at magbigay ng mga sagot, mga ganda. I'd just like to put that on record, Mr. Chair, so that ang publiko, para maintindihan po nila na sa mga committee hearings, talagang ang trabaho po ng mga membro ay magtanong sa mga resource persons. Ang mga resource persons po din ang magbibigay ng input, because they are the experts and they are the authority to provide us with all these inputs. You may call it lecture, you may call it a seminar, pero I mean, this is how things are really done here in the House of Representatives. Just want to premise that on the way Commodore Tariela, because he has no moral legal obligation to go out and defend any of the members here in this committee. Similar with Ms. Malu Tikia. Marami pong salamat, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Jong. So, again, this committee would like to say that, like what Congressman Barbers earlier has said, and Congressman Adjong, itong committee natin ay humihingi ng tulong each and every one of you para makagawa po tayo ng batas, o gaya ng sinabi ni Congressman Paduano earlier this morning, na ma-amend ang mga batas para tumama na sa ating panahon ngayon. Marami nang nagbago, mga na ngayon. Dati wala. Itong mga cellphone, itong mga ibang na natin ngayon. So, with that, we need your expertise, your different contributions to our country para makagawa ng tamang batas. Hindi ho itong TRICOM ginawa para mang-suppress ng freedom of speech ng mga tao. Tayo ho lahat dito, hindi po kami lang, Kasi hindi naman pwedeng, kailangan manggaling din sa inyo, That we can all agree So now, with that, we have invited those who attended, just like before, no? Last meeting, we have Miss Maria Lourdes Tiquia. Would you like to be the first mom to, would you like to say anything? No?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think I've said enough